Hi everybody. I'm going to show you some demonstrations on the Cubism project. I know we talked about in class, we talked about doing some watercolors and also doing the collage. You guys all know how to do colored pencil, so I'm going to show you how to do the collage. Okay, so your first step is, say that you're going to collage this segment here. I'm going to take some tracing paper and I'm going to just trace that little section, okay, like this. All right, so I got this shape here, okay, so I have that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it over the piece that I want to trace, and then I am just going to cut out my shape. You're going to find that sometimes it doesn't cut exactly to that space, but we'll see what happens. We might have to try a couple times. But I found this is the easiest way to make that color. Okay, so here's that. Now, one thing I need to let you know, if you're using that paper that has the two-sided where it looks different on either side, you want to make sure that you are tracing on the back of that paper if you want the front to show, because you're going to have to flip this. This paper, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's see how this fits into there. Yeah, not bad. You're going to find sometimes there's like some little pencil lines showing. We can just erase those later. So now what I'm just going to do is take my glue stick and then just glue this down. Oops. Kind of slipped on me. Ugh, this is the hard part. Trying to line it up perfectly into the lines. Okay. Alright, so there's that. Another thing I want to show you is some watercolor techniques. We haven't learned any watercolor techniques. So those of you that are kind of struggling with watercolors, I'll show you a couple different things. First of all, I need to get some water. Of course, I forgot my water. I'm stuck in the dark room right now trying to do this. So I'm kicked out of my classroom. Hold on. Okay, so you're going to need water. You're going to need a brush. I got this really cool technique I'm going to show you with salt. Alright, so I'm going to do this little section here in watercolors. Alright, I need to glue this one back down. One thing that is nice is having watercolors flow into each other. And to do that, I like to get water on just that area that I'm going to be watercoloring. That way, if you end up only sticking into the one area here with the water, all that paint stays right into that section instead of flowing out into the other sections. Okay, so then I'm going to take my really messy paints here. I should have gotten a bigger brush. And then I'm just going to kind of tap it, just let it go with the flow. It's not working as good as I was hoping for. It's probably because I'm using a really small brush right now. And now I'm going to get like an orange. I'm going to kind of flow them into each other. Overlap each other. If you do that while it's still wet, it doesn't make streaky lines. It's really nice. And if you find that you have lines and they're not flowing good, just keep trying to like kind of tap around with the color instead of like smearing it. Like I'm going to tap it instead of smearing it. I'm going to go back down in this area with some red. Kind of have them flow up into each other. Okay, so see how you have this area here? I'm going to wash my brush off and just kind of tap around with some water actually. Kind of let those flow into each other, mix naturally. Only problem I think I'm going to find with the salt on this one is that it's tending to dry really fast just because I'm using a smaller brush. And if it dries really fast and it's not puddling anymore, trying to do that technique is not going to work, but I might be able to get it down here at the bottom. Okay, so I got that all flowing into each other. Now what I'm going to do is take some salt, and all I need is like a little tiny pinch, and I'm just going to sprinkle it right on top of there. Okay, you won't be able to really see what it does until later on after it dries, but we'll come back to that. I'll show you in class. Let's see what happens with it. So you can do that, or you can just leave it without putting the salt on it. And then one last thing I want to show you is how to flow colors into each other. So I started that here, and I don't even know if I grabbed the right pencils, the right colors. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, pretty close. So the best thing to do is like start in a corner. So like if I were to start down here in the corner and go in the back and forth motion, kind of stick in that same flow. Start to come up further. I need to flow it into this red. I'm going to stop right before I get to that red. And then I'm going to, I don't even know what red this is. It's a little darker than what I started with. Now I'm going to overlap right into that orange. I'll gradually start to add more pressure. Yeah, it's a little different red than the one I started with, which is okay. This is actually a good lesson on how to blend them when you have that issue. So as you can see, I have like this line here that's forming, and I don't like that look. So I'm going to go back in with the orange and overlap that red I just did. Kind of bring the orange up more into the red. Starting to gradually put more pressure. And I still have that line. So now where I'm going to apply more pressure is right on that line, and then just, I'm kind of just gradually adding more pressure as I go, little by little. I don't want to do it right away. Kind of trying to start to take away that line. I might even have to get to the point where I come all the way down. It's just basically layers, you know, you go back and forth until you kind of feel as though that it's all blended. And you just overlap and you layer. Take your time. All right, it's getting there. Okay. All right, so those were the things that I wanted to show you today. So if anybody needs help, please let me know.